Welcome back to CBS This Morning. CBS News contributor Maria Elena Salinas is here for this next story. Welcome back. Great to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you, too.
Healthcare is a big issue in Nevada ahead of its caucus tomorrow. The state has one of the worst healthcare systems in the country, according to a recent report. It was ranked last in the nation for prevention and treatment and second to last for access and affordability. Our series, Every State Has a Story, focuses on how issues on the campaign trail actually affect people around the country. Maria Elena spoke to Nevada voters with conflicting views on health care. So what sets tomorrow's caucus apart, Maria?
Well, actually, what sets Nevada apart from New Hampshire and from Iowa is the voters. You know, it's almost 15% of them are workers. They belong to unions. And the state is nearly 30% Latino. A union organizer we spoke to says that voters here more accurately represent America. 31-year-old Yerlini Roa Dugan is a mother, an immigrant, and a nurse. As a voter, one of her main concerns is health care.
Medicare for all is one important thing. I think that most of us can agree that even if you have health insurance, the costs can make it very difficult.
She supports Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you.
As a labor and delivery nurse, I see many women that come in without any prenatal care. We can see issues with the babies that we otherwise would have been able to fix or prevent.
How do you deal with that emotionally?
It's very hard.
Roa Dugan's union, which represents healthcare and public service employees, will play a role in Nevada's caucuses. But the state's largest labor organization, the Culinary Workers Union, is one of the most powerful forces in Nevada politics. With 60,000 members, over half Latino, it represents most hospitality workers on the Las Vegas Strip. The bloc of voters is so influential, their union took center stage at Wednesday's Democratic debate on NBC.
The Culinary Workers Union, a great union.
These are hardworking people.
I've been to the culinary unions, healthcare facilities. They're terrific.
What is the most important issue for this union and its members now that it's election time, it's primary time?
The most important part for us to protect is our health care.
The union has distributed flyers warning that Medicare for All plans would threaten members' current coverage. Gioconda Arguello Klein has been in the union for 36 years and is secretary-treasurer.
Every human being needs and deserves to have better health care, but at the same time, we believe in choices. We feel very important to keep our own health care because we have the best health care in Nevada.
Employers pay into the Culinary Union's health fund, which supports their own private health center for members and their 70,000 dependents. Union member Lino Paredes, who works at Caesar's Palace, is voting for the first time.
I just had a baby. My wife just had a C-section, and then you guys know how expensive that is, right? So I didn't really have to worry much because I know that I was covered by my insurance.
About 137 million Americans faced financial hardship last year because of medical costs. High health care bills are the #1 reason people take money out of their retirement accounts or file for bankruptcy. All of the presidential candidates have visited the Culinary Union to share their platforms, some seizing on the union's concerns.
We do not want to take those benefits away.
We have an obligation to make sure we do nothing that would put that health care in jeopardy.
You get to keep it under my plan. You don't have to give it up.
Others argue that switching to government health care could help them fight for higher wages.
Employers save money. Under our legislation, workers get the difference.
We asked Senator Warren about the union's fears.
I don't want them to lose it. I want to see healthcare centers like that available, not just for the Culinary Union. I want to see them available all across Nevada and all across this country.
Regardless of the outcome this weekend, Roa Dugan says she's proud to be participating.
I think every vote counts, so my vote is very important, and I am encouraging all my friends and family to vote too.
Oh, good for her. The Culinary Workers Union isn't endorsing any candidates, at least not during the primaries. all of the voters who we spoke to said that in addition to health care, they're also paying very close attention to candidates' immigration plans. They say the two issues will help to mobilize Latino voters to get to the polls both this weekend and, of course, in November.
Super. I'm so glad we did the piece because it came up over and over in the debate. Why does the Culinary Workers Union oppose Medicare for all? But now you get it. You got their own.
That healthcare center is beautiful.
Really nice. Really gorgeous.
They have their own pharmacy, so they said we don't want to lose that.
So you mentioned the issues that will matter to Latino voters. How important will the Latino vote be to the winner of 2020?
It will be very important, and I know that for decades we've been saying that the Latino vote is a sleeping giant and that one day it's going to wake up. Well, maybe this is the year it's going to wake up because Latinos will be the largest minority voting bloc in the country with 32 million eligible to vote this year. And there's certain states where the Latino vote will really be able to make a difference, especially in a close race. Even some of the swing states. Like Nevada, Florida, among others, and Arizona even.
Beyond immigration, health care, what are the other key issues for Latino voters?
You know, it's interesting because Gioconda, the head of this union, said, this state really reflects the rest of America. And when it comes to the Latino vote, it's exactly the same thing. They care about health care and immigration. Latinos around the country care about health care and immigration only. There was a recent poll done by Latino Decisions together with Univision, and lower health care costs, protecting immigrant rights was something very important to them, and education, which has always been an important issue for them. But on that list that we don't see here also is jobs, the creation of jobs, and stopping racism. Some people sometimes wonder why, when you hear this anti-immigrant rhetoric, they say, it's those undocumented people, or like they call them the illegals, which is not a proper word to use when you refer to a human being. Because that negative rhetoric against immigrants also affects U.S. citizens with racism, and there's been an increase in incidents of racism around the country for adults and for kids. Just speaking Spanish, just having an appearance that is Latino will make you a victim of that. So that's another big issue for Latinos.
The Latino voting bloc has been called a sleeping giant, as you pointed out in the past, because even though it's large, people didn't turn out. Did you get a sense talking to people that they're more likely to turn out this year?
Well, not just that, but I think we have the example of 2018 in the midterm elections where the Latino voter registration and actual voting increased tremendously in state. Just in Nevada alone, there was an increase of 120% in voter participation. And mostly it was in Florida, in Arizona, and in Nevada. So I do feel that we have that precedent to see that Latinos this time around are motivated to go out and use their voice and use their power.
The early vote in Nevada is already 3/4 of it was what it was 4 years ago. So
even more, in fact. All right, Maria Elena, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.